up, guys? So happy that you can be here with us. If you are, give us a like, give us a heart, give us a comment if you're here. I wanted to do a surprise interview with my buddy Nico. He absolutely kills it with copywriting, and we're going to talk a lot about messenger bots because it's on a lot of your guys' minds. So I thought I'd do a quick surprise interview for you guys so you can get a better conceptualization, that's a word, of messenger bots and all that stuff. So I'm just going to send it over to Nico, let him introduce himself, and we'll get this thing started. Go ahead, Nico.
All right, what's up, you guys? My name is Nico Moreno, and I am a copywriter. Started out doing strictly copywriting, then kind of ventured into more areas of digital marketing like Facebook ads, messenger bots, things like that. And yeah, I'm super stoked to be here with you guys. I'm out in California, so I don't know where you guys are in the world, but hey, from California, there's a super bad fire like 10 miles from me right now, so it's kind of sketch, but hanging in
Yeah.
there.
Awesome. So I kind of want to get your background on copywriting a little bit. Like how'd you start out with your copywriting ventures, and what have you done that's kind of like a notable a little bit?
Yeah, so I guess how I got started was the very first time that I was trying to quit my like 9-to-5 job. The first like make money online like product or course that I ever found was about how to like publish your own Kindle books on Amazon, or like on Amazon Kindle. And then
Yeah.
like sell those. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? His name's like Stefan Pilarnos or
I
something.
don't know him, but I've heard that can be super profitable.
Yeah, so I started doing that. That was the very first thing that I started doing, where I was trying to make money online, and I was like, hey, this is going to be cool. Like I like writing, and like I don't know anything about marketing, but like it seems like it's really easy. So I tried it, and it actually like it worked pretty decently for like a first thing ever, like trying to make money online. So I got it up to about like 800 to $1,000 a month after, like, that was while I was working my job.
That's really good.
Yeah, so that was like while I was working like a day job. And at that point I decided to quit my job, and I actually moved to Japan, like kind of right around the same time. Yeah, I lived there. I don't know if I would say moved. I lived there for about like 3 months. So I did some volunteering too.
That's still awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So you did volunteering over there. What else did you do? Like the digital nomad lifestyle over
Yeah,
there?
did the digital nomad lifestyle. It was sweet. So I did some volunteering. Like I worked on a lettuce farm actually, which is like super random. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Woof? It's like this website where you can,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you can like live with a host family in exchange for like volunteering on their farm or whatever. So I literally worked on a Japanese lettuce farm.
That's funny.
And it was super cool. The family was awesome and like super nice, and they spoke English, and really, really cool experience, like life changing.
Yeah.
I loved it there. But yeah, so I did the whole like digital nomad thing.
Yeah.
And then like probably a lot of you guys are doing or trying to do right now. So yeah, I did that, and then I kind of started to realize that I didn't really know how to scale like the Kindle thing. It was doing fine, but like I didn't really know how to scale it past where it was at, like 800 to $1,000 a month, and it was kind of, it took a lot of work. Like it took a lot of time for that amount of money. So I kind of started to try and do other things. I started like a fitness blog. That didn't really pan out because I didn't know how to monetize a blog. And then it was from there I was like, okay, you know what? Shit's getting real. Like I had money saved up from like my previous jobs and stuff like that, but I was like, okay, like I need to actually find a way to like be making like a full-time income.
Yeah.
And so at that point I hired a coach. Best decision of my life.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So hired a coach, and she helped me realize or figure out, I guess, how I could monetize my skills and interests, and that was copywriting. So I started doing that. I also kind of knew that I didn't quite line up, but I was like, there was a point when I was trying to do like affiliate marketing. So I was like in ClickBank all the time, and I was like, oh, like how do I pick a product that's gonna like sell? And like
Yeah.
I would always find myself like reading the sales letters there, like the big long ass sales letters.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, this is like, yeah, I would think to myself like, wow, this is really cool. Like there's a lot of psychology going on here.
Yeah.
Because I had studied like neurolinguistic programming and hypnosis actually before.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I like noticed a lot of stuff from that too. I was like, wow, they're all using like these certain like language patterns from like NLP.
Hmm.
So then I was like, okay, this is really cool. So I told my coach that, and she was like, okay, you should just do copywriting like you already, like, it's perfect. And I was like, yeah, you're right, it is perfect. Like I figured, and so that's kind of how I got into it. I guess it was kind of like organic, I guess, and like a lot of things just kind of like led me to do that. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah,
What's up, Derek? Thanks for being on the live with us.
yeah. What's up, Derek? I saw the high five.
You guys are here. Give us a comment. Give us a like, a heart. If you're on the replay, give us a 1. I gotta fucking say it, you guys. So a lot of people that are starting out, we're with a bunch of digital marketers right now. So a lot of people starting out their agency struggle with. I thought that was a beer, real quick. That's funny.
No, definitely not. Not yet. It's only 11:13 where I'm at.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah,
what's up?
you'd have a problem.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys struggle with copywriting skills, and it just doesn't flow naturally. Was like, where would you point them to? Like, what tools should they use to become a better copywriter?
Yeah. So as far as like, that's a great realization. Like a lot of people think that, I guess like the number one objection that I would get like when I was first starting out as a copywriter, and I'd be like, do you need help with copywriting? Like the number one thing they would be like, well, you know, like I did pretty well in English in like high school and college, so I'll be fine. And so
Hmm.
like that's the thing that I see a lot of people thinking, like they kind of assume that it's gonna just be like fine. And because of that, and the reality is like those two skills, like being a good writer and like understanding like, you know, the basics of the English language,
Yeah.
it's very much separate from like understanding how sales copywriting works. And you can learn sales copywriting like quickly. Like it's not.
Yeah. It's more psychological, right?
Yeah, it's really a lot more psychological, and you can kind of follow like some basic frameworks and like
Yeah.
basic structures that I can.
What are some of those that you'd suggest?
Yeah, so like I would say like the most basic copywriting formula that you can use and apply like pretty much anywhere, whether it's like a Facebook ad, a blog post if it's a little bit longer, like an email, literally anything. You can kind of follow this basic pattern, and you'll get like good results. So I call it like problem, agitate, solution, which
Yeah.
it's not like a new term. Like probably some people have heard of it, some people haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Maurice or Marius says it's all about the story, tapping into that emotion. Exactly. So the first step is kind of like it's problem, agitate, solution. So you like call out the customer's problem. So you say like, are you struggling like getting new clients? Are you struggling making a full-time income while you're traveling the world, or whatever it is?
You see
Like,
that all the
are
time.
you struggling to lose weight? So you really want to hit them with like the problem first before you get into the solution.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of like ask them questions like that, like where the answer is gonna be like a yes, and they're gonna realize, hey, like I actually am in pain, like I actually am having this problem. And then you can like further agitate the solution. So there's problem, then agitate. So you can kind of be like, see, because the goal behind it is you want to make people realize on their own that they need a solution. You don't want to tell them, you don't want to like smack them in the face and say like, hey, like buy my thing, right? You want to get them to like realize it on their own. So then when you agitate agitate the problem, you can be like, yeah, like isn't it a bummer when you go out and like you see all your friends like with their I don't know, like you see all your friends like are in really good shape and all these girls are coming out to them, and you're like sitting back here in the shadows and like you feel overweight and unhappy with your body. Like, doesn't that kind of suck? And then from there you can be like, you can like present the solution. Sorry, I'm like all backwards right now. You present the solution, say like, hey, my name's Nico Moreno. I used to be in a really similar situation. I was unhappy with my body. And then I took it upon myself to really figure out, you know, the exact workout plan and nutrition regimen that I needed to get the results that I wanted. And so I actually created this free ebook or created a fitness program or whatever. And then there you like lay out the solution.
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
yeah, you want to make sure that you want to put them in a state of pain, but not in a, you want to put them in the state of like self-induced pain, if that makes sense. So you want them to be like asking these questions and realizing for themselves, like, you know, I do have this problem myself. You don't want to be like calling them out saying like you're fat, like you suck. Like that's not the right approach to have. You want to make sure that like they're coming to these realizations on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. I love problem, agitate, solution. And that's awesome. What's up, Marius and Shane? So happy you're here. And Lewis, what's up, dude? So we got problem, agitate, solution. What are there any more in-depth copywriting concepts that you can share with us?
Yeah, for sure. So there's another one that I like to call, well, I've given it a couple of different names, I guess. Like, but like, are you asking about like copywriting like formulas and structures, or actual like tidbits and like, I don't know.
Let's go with the tidbits. What are you thinking about the tidbits?
Okay, tidbits. Yeah, it's a good word. Yeah, so as far as like little tidbits, well, I actually had a landing page that did really, really well. As far from a conversion rate perspective, I think it was at like 78 or 79% conversion rate, which was really amazing. So I guess
it is.
Yeah, I was stoked with it. So I guess oh, we got a question there. I can get into that in a second.
Yeah.
So like a really simple like landing page, I guess, structure that I like to use is you hit them with like a very clear, big headline. So it sounds basic, but you want to say like the exact landing page that I'm talking about. It was like, get the perfect webinar email templates for 2017 or whatever. I'm pretty sure like the headline was that, or almost exactly that. It was like the perfect perfect webinar email templates for 2017. So it was like telling them just exactly what they're going to get. Like you don't have to candy code it.
And who wouldn't want that? Like you want to have a headline, yeah.
Saves you like a ton of time and a ton of like guesswork and all that. So just had that big headline really just right there. And then the sub headline was combating like any objections that they might have. So what I did for the sub headline was like, these work for any niche and like any type of product or whatever, because you kind of think to yourself like, okay, if I'm giving someone like this perfect, amazing solution, what's the doubt or like question that they're going to have in their head about like whether it's going to work for them?
That answers Marius's question.
Oh yeah, I don't know where to see it anymore, but I saw it pop up first.
Yeah, so he asked about handling objections, and you said that you put like you handle the objections right under the big headline.
Yeah. So like right in the sub headline is where you can handle the objections. So you kind of just think to yourself like, well, what doubts would I have about this if this were really claiming to be the perfect thing in the world? Like, what doubts would I have? Or you can just like, ask someone in your niche or ask your audience if you have an audience. So yeah, just address it like right there, right above the button, right below the headline, and then just simple like big button. I actually read a split test in Russell's 108 split test winners where like the bigger the button, literally the more people that clicked. So it sounds like kind of stupid, but like don't be afraid to get in their face with a big button.
Yeah.
And then beneath that, I think I had I had some social proof stuff. So there's a way to like embed your Facebook, like how many people like your Facebook page. You can embed that into like a ClickFunnels page or wherever you want. So I put that right below right below the button, and then I had some like as seen on things like on the bottom, and then I also use proof. I don't know if you use proof.
Yeah, I've looked into it.
Yeah, highly recommend it. So that was really it. Like it was a really, really simple landing page.
Yeah. I like what did you say you used testimonials under the button, or was it just the page links?
Oh, it was just the page likes. I can show, like, I don't know if you can like share the screen or if you want to, but like I can literally show you the page.
I have not done that yet, but would you
Yeah,
just
it's kind
drop
of
it
a
in the
pain now.
comments? Just drop it in the comments after the live.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
Dude, that was a great kind of like just putting like if you just have those elements in a landing page, that goes a long ways. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
I one thing I heard is that another thing that goes a long way is putting testimonials right under the button or right under the call to action so people can reinforce, oh, this is why I need to take the action. I've heard that's really good as well.
Yeah, social proof is huge. Like people kind of underestimate it, but
Hmm.
literally like I've landed like a couple of my biggest clients like ever just from someone else like telling them about me. Like I did like no work. Like literally social proof is like such a big deal. So like any way that you can figure out how to like inject it
Yeah.
is always good.
Yeah, there was a I had a yoga studio client and their landing page was converting at like 60%, which was really, really good. Um,
Nice.
yeah, and then I put in like three more reviews on the page and it started converting at 80% after that.
Damn. See,
Um,
yeah, like if that doesn't do it, if that doesn't convince you, then I don't know what will.
I just put more social proof in doubt or in your page. Um, So messenger bots. Let's talk about that a little bit. What's your take on messenger bots?
Yeah. So I guess my overall take is like messenger bots are the place to be right now. I also don't think I feel like the whole like topic of debate is like, is email dead? Is email dying? Like I don't think email personally, I don't think email is ever gonna die or be dead, and I don't
Yeah,
think it's dead now.
yeah,
I just think like you would be crazy not to also use messenger bots just because of the stats that you can get like 80 to 100% open rate and like
hmm
I don't know, like I've been getting like between 70 and like 80% click through depending, I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like you might as well use both is my take on it.
yeah. Absolutely, it's crazy, and like you can always use messenger bots to capture people's email address and sync it
Yeah,
up with Active Campaign or Mailchimp and send them an email immediately, like automatically using a Zapier connection.
I
Uh,
know. Like you can still get both. You can just have them like opt into the messenger bot first, and then later you can like get their email address.
Yeah, exactly. It's
No
crazy.
reason not to do both. But
So I really wanted to get your take on this, and Derek, thank you so much for asking this question. What do you do for copywriting in bots?
good question. Okay, so I mean,
Like
I guess
where do
that's
you
kind of like a yeah, that's
start?
kind of like a vague. I mean, not that I'm not trying. I'm not saying like
Where do you start? How do you set up the framework? What if like if you're working with clients, how do you figure out like their brand, like their style of writing, and try to like emulate that? Like where do you? It is very broad.
one second.
I'll give you a second. Guys, give me a heart for this girly freaking mug that I'm drinking out of. We're not. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, sorry. When you get like down the wrong pipe. Plus, it's really fiery. You hear?
Yeah, blame it on the fire.
Yeah, blame it on the fire. So yeah, as far as messenger bots, I would say just like, oh god, am I gonna be able to stop coughing? We'll find out. Um, yeah. So he says you have less space than a sales page. So how do you? So there you want to really, really keep it brief, right? But you still want to follow the same pattern. So you might want to ask like one leading question, like, are you? Well, here's the thing, like they're already a lead basically if they're in your messenger bot. So um, they've gotten like you're not trying to coerce them to opt in anymore. Now you're kind of just like trying to, I guess, coerce them to take further actions with you, whether it's like joining your Facebook group or joining or like getting like a free download or like watching a webinar or something like that. So you might want to, obviously like you have to keep it very, very brief. I would say like definitely use emojis. Emojis are your friend, and they're also another thing is you want to make sure, since you can use emojis, like definitely use the finger ones that are like pointing at whatever it is that you're, like if you have a button on the bottom, like I just wrote one this morning and it's like grab the free guide like below, and then I had like fingers pointing below, and then a finger like on the button too, like pointing to it. For whatever reason, that it just helps to have like literally just things pointing at your call to action. Like it just improves conversion. So I would say definitely do that. And another thing, like if you're like, as you know, like you can give people like multiple like response possibility, like I don't know what I'm trying to say, like buttons. You can give people like a bunch of different buttons for like options that are like best suited to them. So I would say like definitely like ask an open-ended question, like a leading question, kind of like the problem, like just the problem part or whatever, and then you can give them KISS method. Okay, I don't know what that is, but I'll take it.
It's keep it simple, stupid.
Oh yeah, there you go. Keep it simple. Well said, Derek. So yeah, literally you can just ask like one simple question and kind of like leave them hanging, and then give them like whatever buttons you might want them to take after that. But yeah, you can kind of think of it as, I guess this kind of will only work if you're a pro like texter, but like you gotta think of like literally you're like you're kind of like messaging with someone one-on-one and texting them, like how are you going to get the response that you want, if that makes sense. Like that's kind of like, that's the thinking that I put into it, I guess.
That's huge though. You got to know like what your end goal is and what you want out of it, and determine that before you start making the bot.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also don't want to be a pain in the ass, right? Like you don't want to annoy them, because then they're going to stop responding to your bot. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like it's kind of like basic. Like you want to make sure that you're helping them by, by asking like certain types of questions, with the ultimate goal of just helping them and not being a pain in the ass.
Yeah. You think people have to stay away from trying to add too much to their bot and make too long of sequences? I see this so much, that people are making these really intricate sequences because they look super cool. No, don't do that. That will annoy the shit out of your customers. Like, just keep it simple. Get them to subscribe at first, and then you broadcast messages out that are just super informational and help them out. It's that simple.
Yeah. So I actually wanted to get your take on broadcast, because I've only really done automations, and I'm going to start broadcasting like kind of now-ish.
Yeah.
So what do you do for broadcast? What do you like to do for that? Like, I guess how often do you do that without bugging them?
Yeah, it's not really a timing thing. It's more like, what value can I provide? If it's like a value of like what was there was something I was reading recently that said rate your stuff on a scale from 1 to 10 with skipping 7. So if you think your content is on a scale from 1 to 10 and you rate it as an 8, then send it out. If you rate it as a 6 or below, do not send it out. So when you feel like you rate it in your head and it's above an 8, then, or an 8 or above, then broadcast that out. Like, it's valuable, give it to them. So it's not really like a timing thing. Like, you could send broadcasts out like in back-to-back days or the same days. If like it has an immense amount of value, broadcast it out.
That's a really good metric, or a really good like.
Yeah, I forget if I got it from something with Tim Ferriss, but I like when I read it, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I just sent out a broadcast for a gym a few days ago, and it got 95%, a 95% read rate. I posted it in my group, 95% read rate, and then 84% click-through rate. It was ridiculous.
Nice.
Um,
That's
and
insane.
yeah, like email would never be able to do that. Um, but I broadcasted that out. It made them $2,800 just because like it was a lead generation campaign that led them to a bot that offered them like a membership. And then like when you get leads, not all of them are going to sign up for your services immediately.
Yeah.
So if you send a broadcast out reminding them with some helpful tips in there as well, then that like you will get a lot more people to sign up. And that's the beauty of bots because you can follow up with them anytime you want. And they made $2,800 just off that one broadcast.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Awesome testimonial for you right there.
Yeah. But broadcasts are freaking awesome, man. Whenever you have something of value, just shoot it out.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually just thinking this morning, like, I guess two examples of, or I guess what made me think of it this morning was I'm subscribed to Grant Cardone's, and like, I don't think he's doing a very good job of like broadcasting, honestly. Like,
No.
I really don't think so. He literally just like sends a link. Like, there's no text. Like, literally just like, I mean, there will be a title for the link, but like, that's it. And I'm like, dude, come on, you're missing like a good opportunity to like engage with all of us. But
That is
his,
so
his bot
random.
person is not on top of their game.
No. What the
Uh,
hell?
I know,
Um,
but at the same time, like there are some people who have really good bots. I mean, like you're wearing the shirt, like Alex Becker. I like his stuff because I guess I just like what he does as a person. So I guess that's kind of why I would. But I open like all of his messages and usually like do whatever it says. But
yeah, I love it. Hey guys, if you have any questions about messenger bots, you have two guys here that are running plenty of messenger bot or building plenty of messenger bots. So let us know. I'd love to. Nico and I would love to take any of your questions regarding anything, absolutely anything. Um, so what's your preferred platform? Is it Chatfuel or ManyChat, and why?
yeah, I like ManyChat because I just feel like it's so much more user friendly. Maybe it's because that was the one. Maybe it's because I started out on that one and then I tried Chatfuel after
Yeah,
and like I just didn't like it as much.
yeah,
So I don't know. I've also tried Message Hero recently because
yeah.
friends, one of my friends like has a subscription or had a subscription already, and so I tried it. That I think it sucks. Like Message Hero, it's like
Really? Yeah.
yeah, I think so. So my favorite is for sure ManyChat.
Awesome.
How
Yeah,
about you?
that's the first one I started out with, and then I just built a coffee shop bot and an e-commerce bot in Chatfuel. I'm starting to like that more. It's
Really?
weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Just I like how they group everything, and I feel like for a sequence, if you're trying to drive somebody through a sequence, ManyChat is a little bit easier. But if you're trying to give somebody options, so like for e-commerce and like restaurants and coffee shops, like
Mhm.
if you're giving them like a menu of things that they can select from, I love Chat Fuel for that because it's so
Okay.
easy to go from a picture and then take them back to the beginning, just how it's grouped. So it really depends on the niche that you're working with.
Okay, that makes sense.
But
Yeah,
we go ahead.
I was gonna say like that's definitely something like what you just mentioned there, like going back to the like beginning of a menu or something with a bunch of pictures, like that is, yeah, I can. That's not something that like is fun to do in ManyChat, I guess is the
Yeah.
right way to put it.
Yeah, because in Chat Fuel you can resize the pictures like just within Chat Fuel. Like with
Oh,
many,
really? I know
yeah.
in ManyChat it's so stupid. Like you have to like you have to like upload the right size and everything, and like
No, Chat Fuel you can crop the pictures to the size that you want, and it makes it so easy.
okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah. We got a question from Asia. Oh, and Derek too. One second. Asia is asking what type of content is good to provide value, like a video, PDF downloads, or blog post links. So you have a good amount of experience with that. How would you answer that?
Yeah, sure. So, oh, cool. You like put the, now I can see the comment. It kind of depends on what your goal is. So if your goal is to get a person to opt in, usually you want something that's really like quick and that they can consume really quickly, like a checklist or like a cheat sheet or something fast. You don't want to provide like a full-on like video course or something like
Mhm.
right away. You want to, because they want, basically when people opt into something, like they kind of are looking for a quick fix and they want like instant gratification.
Mhm.
So I always think that that's a good way to go for like opting in. Then after that, like once you're kind of like warming people up and like getting them used to like, whatever it is, whatever your world is, whatever your business is, um, then I would say like blog posts, PDFs, or no, blog posts, like videos, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, then that's kind of a better time to use more like long form stuff like that, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I love that answer.
What do you think about that?
I think it's really you got to know what your audience wants. So if it's more millennial audience, they consume video more. So you could drive them through a sequence and send them to a video. If it's kind of the older audience, I was working with a supplement company recently, and he was targeting baby boomers. It was called Teas and Greens, and it's like to clean your gut and shit. So it's for older people. So he was providing a PDF. So like they like long form copy and reading that type of stuff. So really know your audience and then send them what they resonate more with. But I think everything on the internet is going towards video. So like the more video content you can make, the better. That's why I like doing these interviews because people love consuming video on the internet. And
Yeah, it's like it's entertaining.
yeah, pump out video content.
It doesn't take effort really to like watch a video.
Exactly. And Asia, let me know what like niche or audience or like what product or service are you looking to push through a messenger bot. So we got another question from Derek. If I'm running a free voucher offer using Facebook ads, what's better, JSON or the comment growth tool?
I guess that's probably going to be more like an opinion thing. I think the comments look great. I honestly like I've never used the JSON
Mm-hmm.
thing, but I think comments just add a ton of social proof,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
Like there's isn't
I would
much.
always go with that personally.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think.
Yeah. There isn't much organic reach anymore on Facebook, but when you can get it, and you'll get way more organic reach through the comment growth tool than you will the JSON growth tool. So split test it like in anything in marketing, test it out, see what works better. But for personal use, the comment growth tool has been much better than JSON.
Yeah, I also think like people who are already kind of digital marketers like us, like they're familiar with the comment growth tool. They're like, okay, I've seen that before. But a lot of people who aren't like strictly like in marketing, like they haven't seen it before, and they're like, oh, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So like to be able to type a comment and then to have like a message bot, a messenger bot, like automatically deliver something, like a lot of
Yeah,
people, that's like completely novel and like
that automation is insane. It's so sweet.
yeah. And so you kind of have to, I guess you have to, again, like you were saying, you have to understand like who your customer is and stuff like that. But I think a lot of times, at least for me, and like in my head, I'll be like, oh, it's not even worth like saying something. It's not even worth like sharing this cool tip because everyone already knows it. But
Mm-hmm.
really, like maybe a lot of like digital marketers specifically would know it, but like a lot of people
Dude,
who are like entrepreneurs and like maybe they're not so up to date with like digital marketing specifically, they'll be like, oh my God, this is like revolutionary. Thank you.
I go through the same thing, dude. Like, I'm like, should
Right?
I put this piece of content out? I feel like everybody knows it, but it's like helpful to the people that don't know it. But I'm starting to realize I need to just put it out because like it will help people who don't know that content. I resonate with that so much, man.
Yeah, like seriously, the self-talk is so real. Like,
For
oh man, what if I do this and like everyone's like, oh, that sucks. I already knew that.
exactly. Oh, we got another question from Marius. Thank you so much, man. How many pictures and GIFs is too many in a sequence?
Ah, GIFs. I mean, that's a really good question. That's kind of based on, I guess, your business, right? Because like if you're like at a if you're a restaurant or something like that, then you obviously want to include a bunch of pictures and things like that. GIFs, that just really depends like on your personality, like as a business or like as a person, I guess. However, you're like if you're a one man show or something, like if it's in your personality to do like a GIF every once in a while, like go for it. I would say like again, just like don't like leave it at the point where you're not being annoying, you're just being like kind of funny and like unique and letting your personality show.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. One other thing is like GIFs and pictures will slow your bot down. Um, for some reason, less on mobile and more on desktop. So be wary of that. I would test out your bot before sending it out if you do have a lot of GIFs and a lot of pictures, because it can really slow it down on desktop, and your conversion rates will be lower. So that's the number one thing I would be worried about. Um, and then Slaywick, is that how you pronounce it? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Had a great point here. He said the JSON, it's a one-step opt-in comment growth tool. They have to opt in twice to subscribe, once comment on an ad, and then reply again and to subscribe. So you're absolutely right. That's why I would test it out and see which one works better. But at the same time, sometimes when you get somebody Slavic, Slavic, Slavic. Okay, hopefully I
Slavic
got
or Slavic? Okay, we're getting close.
oh shit. I can't read, dude. Um but
Oh,
whatever. I'm so sorry, man. Um so sometimes like when you get your prospects and customers to act more, like they're more committed to the end goal. So, would you like to riff off that a little bit, Nico?
yeah, like it's like micro commitments and things like that. Oh, sweet, I got it. Cool, awesome. Um, yeah, like it's all about like little micro commitments. So like even though yeah, it's kind of annoying to do like a double. It's kind of annoying to do like a double opt-in, but yeah, that's definitely a great point. I didn't even really think of it that way, but like the more little like tiny micro commitments that they take, you're kind of gearing them up and you're kind of like training them, so to speak, to like respond to your content and to like take action when you say something. If that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. So like more, so like down the road, like once you've nurtured them or whatever, if you're gonna make like an offer or something like that, then they're more likely to kind of like take action because they've been taking all these little actions with you before.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, I never used the phrase micro actions. I like that.
Yeah, like I think I heard that on Funnel Hacker Radio or something like micro commitments. Uh, yeah,
That's
but because that's I actually do that a lot for landing pages where not that so I mean like I never try and say like okay if you're gonna like watch this webinar and like you're gonna make like $12,000 or something like you obviously never want to say that but if you're mentioning like anything about make money online like at all like obviously as you know like you have to be super careful with like running Facebook ads so what I like to do is put like a bridge page like in between that you're actually running the traffic to and it's just going to be like a one question survey on ClickFunnels and it says like how'd you hear about us and then you can put the options to be like Entrepreneur Magazine or whatever, and then like ClickFunnels Magazine or whatever, and then like other. And then as soon as they click, then they'll go to the actual landing page.
mm-hmm.
Uh, that way, and that counts as a micro commitment. I think that's how I heard it
Mm-hmm.
on ClickFunnels, like what's it called, podcast.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So,
Um,
and that also saves you from any potential issues with Facebook ads getting shut down, which I've
Absolutely.
had happen multiple times. So
So many Facebook ads getting shut down.
sucks, especially when like I'm at my last. I like after if I get this account shut down, I need to get like a new payment. I need to get like a new credit card because I've used all the other ones.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah. So.
Hey guys, if you have any more comments, any questions, especially related to copywriting and bots, put them down below. We'd love to answer them. Question for you: Are you going to Funnel Hacking Live?
Yes, I will be there. Are you?
Heck yeah, we'll meet up there, dude. I'm so pumped for that.
Sweet. Yeah, I got my tickets like the first day that they were announced. So I went to it last year, and Russell announced them or whatever, like on the very first day. And he was like, tomorrow they're going up. He was such a good marketer. Like tomorrow they're going up like in price. So if you buy them like today, then they're like, I can't remember what they were. I think it was like 300 or 400 bucks or something like that. I don't know. But I just bought them like the first day because I was like, this is awesome and I want to come back.
That's sweet. And then you got to meet him there, right? You took a picture with him?
Yeah, I took a picture with him. He probably doesn't remember me, but like, because like probably everyone does that. But I got a picture with him and it was cool. I talked to him for like a minute and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like getting started with like webinars and like super excited and like, yeah. So
that's awesome. That's my goal with him when I'm there. That's
yeah, seriously, nice guy.
Asia, I just saw your niche is health and beauty, mainly aesthetics, plastic surgeons, chiros, etc. That's perfect for a bot. I think a lot of those niches are big on YouTube. So if they have a YouTube channel, you can drive them to videos on YouTube, especially since it's aesthetics. Like you want a visual for people, and I think like taking somebody from a bot opt-in to the YouTube channel will go a long ways. You get a bot subscription, and then hopefully you get a YouTube subscription as well.
Dude, I really like how you think. Can I just say that? Like, yeah.
Thanks so much, man. I think one thing is like the best way to think about digital marketing is about the 3 types of traffic. So I got this from the .com secrets. So you got traffic that you own, traffic that you pay for, and traffic that you don't pay for. And on top of that, you want to be top of mind. Like marketing is all about being in front of your customers, getting as many subscriptions as possible, and being top of mind. So if you can drive people from traffic that you pay for and traffic that you don't own to traffic that you own, meaning an email subscription or a bot subscription or a YouTube subscription, any way to be in front of your customer without paying for it, you got to figure out a way to do that and then create good content to just always stay top of mind for people. And like that's all digital marketing is. Like it's so simple when you just break it down to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's my rant. Cool. I think bombs.
Dropping bombs, yeah.
Hey,
knowledge bombs.
Hey, Brandy. So last thing I want to get out of you, what are your top 3 secrets of to become a good copywriter? Let's go with that.
All right, let's go with that. Top 3 secrets. Okay, first one is definitely like go for. This is gonna sound like bad, but like literally just go for the jugular. Like go for, because what gets people to take action seriously, like I'm sure you can kind of think just like in your own life, like in the past, what has gotten you to like make a change in your diet? What's gotten you to like start a business? What's gotten you to like take really any sort of action? It's like 9 times out of 10, it's like you're in a painful situation where you're just like, you're fed up and like you've had it. And like you're upset, you're angry, you're like pissed off at something. Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to start off with like questions that are going to give people an emotional response. Like, are you tired? Like, again, with the problem, agitate, solution. Like,
yeah.
Are you tired of like feeling stuck in your business and like not knowing what to do next? Like, you really want to like go for the emotional response like right away. Mm-hmm. So that's, I guess, secret number one. Secret number two is that really, if you follow the problem agitate solution, like you're gonna be better than like 95% of people out there.
I
Like
love
it's really copywriting, like it doesn't have to be hard. I think people just they kind of either assume that they're good at it because they are good at writing, or they assume that they're like bad at it, like because they're like, oh, I don't know a thing about it.
Yeah.
If you just follow like that basic structure, like you'll, because that's kind of how our thought processes work. So like
Yeah.
if you just follow the basic structure, like you'll be better than like 90% of people out there. So it
Yeah.
doesn't really have to be that hard. And then I guess secret number three is like, yeah, secret number three is definitely use personal stories and like personal like realizations and epiphanies that you have had. So for any of you guys who've read like Expert Secrets, or maybe it goes into it in .com Secrets too, I can't really remember, but a lot of the things that a lot of the like points that Russell makes to like that he tries to drive home, he does it by using personal stories, and that's because storytelling like really works. So if you're in the weight loss niche and you're saying like, you know, or you're saying like you're trying to get people to realize that what they need to do is do intermittent fasting, then you can share your own story of like why you were struggling and then like how intermittent fasting like helped you. Like that's actually a personal story for me. Yeah, like I used to be like not like super overweight, but like I was unhappy with like my body, and then I tried like literally everything, and then I found intermittent fasting, and that like totally changed it for me. So like
I did my first 3-day fast last month.
how nice. How was it?
I hated it.
Really?
Like I was so angry on day two at everything. It was a day when I was doing free strategy sessions. So I was on 8 separate calls. Each of them were an hour. And like I just remember I was like, oh, this person hates me because I'm just mad at the world right now.
That's
But that's awesome. Keep going on intermittent fasting. I'd like to hear your experience.
oh, like person yeah, sure. It's like so I guess let's see. I mean, I started off doing like in college, like my very first like trying to like lose weight or whatever was like well, I joined the triathlon team because I was
Oh,
like, yeah, because I had actually done swimming before, even though I was still like kind of fat. That didn't really work for me. But I realized that had a lot more to do with like what I was eating rather than like the exercise that I was doing.
yeah.
And I don't think I'd be able to fast either. Okay, like true story, I've done like 5-day fasts. They're gnarly, but literally you like meant not just physically, like you definitely like lean up, I guess. And like the reason to do it is not to like lose weight or anything, but like literally mentally, like you're a different person after
Yeah.
those 5 days. Like,
I would
seriously.
what I would like to add is like day three was so much easier for me than day two for some reason. Like I just kind of got into a rhythm, and I've never gotten so much work done in my life because
Yeah.
like I didn't have to stop to eat or anything like that.
I know you realize like at that point you kind of start to realize like or like my hunger doesn't control me, like I control my hunger.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah,
everyone like kind of lives by the clock, you know, and they're like, oh, like I gotta eat lunch, like I gotta eat dinner.
yeah,
So yeah, literally like you're kind of a different person by the end of that. But then you kind of like fall back into whatever. Which is like I mean the point is not to never eat food again anyways. So
yeah.
but yeah, intermittent fasting. So I don't eat at all until like the earliest I'll eat is noon ever. That's just like a rule, but like sometimes I don't eat until like 1 or 2,
Hmm.
just like every day. Um, I don't know,
Yeah,
because that was for me. That was like it all goes back to like storytelling, right? Like for me, like that was finally the thing that like worked. So like I never want to like break that again, right?
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. I've actually enjoyed intermittent fasting from time to time, but I've never gotten into a routine of doing it every day. But yeah, we got something from Shane here. I'm married to a Filipino. There's no way I could ever fast. LOL. The real food 24/7 in the house. Yeah, it's for real. Like you're always
Cook rice and steak for breakfast. Nice.
Like you're like who you live with like determines like how you're gonna eat, like your environment. I totally get that.
Absolutely.
So your third secret, we're going back now, was, how did we get on that tangent?
The third secret is like storytelling. Like tell personal stories of how you came to that realization. I mean, assuming that you ever did. Like if you're trying to sell something that you don't have a personal story with, then I guess you can use like testimonials and like talk about other people who have, you know, had some sort of big transformation with it. But really stories are the thing that sell.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's big with the affiliate marketers in the group. Like pick a niche that you know and like put your personal story in your sales copy.
Yeah, especially for affiliate marketing, it's big because like the product isn't actually yours. So.
Awesome, man. Well, I had a great time with you. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thanks
for having me on. Sorry it took like forever.
No problem. We actually had this set up like 2 weeks ago to do an interview, and then you ditched me and then ignored me for 2 weeks. So it's whatever. I'm over it.
When you get like so many like messages and you just let them go.
Yeah. When you're so famous that you just
when you're just internet famous.
That's funny. Cool.
But actually, okay, this was really funny. Like really quick tangent. I was watching one of Alex Becker's YouTube videos like a week ago or something. I watched all his stuff. Like I'm a pretty big fan. But so I was watching one of his videos and it was like a screencast of, he was doing something on Facebook. And yeah, you're welcome, Asia. Glad you enjoyed it. He was doing a screencast of something on Facebook and he was like in the ClickFunnels group or whatever. And then on the sidebar below, like my group was like a recommended group. And I was like,
what?
I know. You know how it shows you recommended Facebook groups to join?
Yeah.
And like for his thing, like in his Facebook, it was like my group like popped up there and it was like 12 friends like are in this group or something like that. I don't remember the number, but like.
So you totally screenshotted that and you're using it.
I seriously did. And I saved the video like in my playlist and I was like, yeah, like 12:43 or whatever time, I can't remember. But it was funny. It made me feel special for a moment.
You need that to keep going. I totally get it. Those small ones.
I know, little wins, right?
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Nico. Have a great day, and thank you guys for being with us.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
See you guys.